So after discovering the method, I had to come up with some theories to explain not only what I had been observing in my own biomechanics, but in the biomechanics of others. Why is it so hard to teach backhand form to people when other sports seemingly work so much easier?
The more I found out about Brian, the more I understand that once he gets his teeth into something, he's tenacious. Tenacious B.
After I honed in on the method, I got it. And it comes down to something that's so mundane, it feels almost silly. I'm pretty certain that the problem is the idea of handedness. Most people are right or left-handed. Apparently 90% of the population is right-handed and 10% of the population is left-handed. And the problem occurs that the moment you're handed a disc and all of your inclinations tell you to use your dominant hand to throw the disc, because you use your dominant hand and your dominant side of your body to do all the things in your life, whether it's to throw a ball or to write or to eat or to drive a car, and certainly to play any sport, you're always using the dominant side of your body to accomplish that. And yet in disc golf, for the backhand, all of the intention has to come from the non-dominant side. But none of your instincts tell you to use the non-dominant side of your body unless you're a kid. If you're an adult, you just think, throw the disc hard with my arm. I use my big, strong arm to do everything. You're yanking on the disc with your arm. You're pulling as hard as you can, gritting your teeth, your head coming forward. All the muscles in the right side of your body tense and yanking on the disc as it slowly accelerates and produces an anemic result. Handedness betrays you because you need to be able to use the non-dominant side of your body to actually propel the disc. It starts the sequence while the dominant side of the body follows along for the ride.
They have a term in competition called paralysis by analysis. And if you start thinking too much about what you're trying to do, you get out of the flow and the integrated mindset that is so necessary for competitive excellence. And so having a unifying theme that allows all the different parts of your body to come together is a very important way to do any athletic endeavor.
Imagine you're a kid and you're 6 years old and your dad takes you to the park and your dad hands you a disc and you hold it in your hands for the very first time and it's big and shiny. In terms of scale, it weighs maybe 3-4 pounds as it would compare to an adult. And it's so big your hands barely fit around it. In your child's mind, you want to try to throw it as far as you can, but the idea of using your arms to sling a giant heavy object doesn't even make sense. So you have to improvise using your kid's brain, and you instinctively go, well, if I use my legs to do it, I can heave the object with my legs. If I said, throw an ice chest, a big heavy ice chest, you wouldn't try to throw it with your arms if you were an adult. You'd use your legs to do it. Trebuchets are really interesting because they use the principle of mechanical leverage to accelerate projectiles to insane speeds. It totally transformed warfare. And trebuchets use the principle of leverage in physics to incrementally transfer energy from a big thing to a smaller thing to a smaller thing to produce exponentially accelerating speed. Your arm, when you throw using the method, the way that it swings looks exactly like a biomechanical trebuchet. The ones that were used in warfare actually would fling the projectile, swinging it like a catapult. Our arms are effectively doing the same thing, although it's in a horizontal swing plane instead.
As you step into a throw, just like throwing a baseball or anything else, you push into the ground and the ground pushes back. Thank you, Isaac Newton, for your third law. And the harder you push into the ground, the harder it pushes back. You can use that ground force to translate your linear motion of stepping from your left side to your right side. I'm talking about a right-handed backhand. You can use that linear change of momentum by pushing into the ground to produce angular momentum. You want to turn linear into rotational. That's the whole game here. You're trying to rotate as quickly as you can. With a standstill, it's not easy to get to the dominant side, to your right side, and rotate really quickly unless things happen in sequence from the ground upward. And the thing I like about Brian's method is by the firing of the left leg and the left hip, it gets the most important thing, the brace, firmly initiated. And if you're in the correct position with your arm, then that pulse travels up the body, with the end result being that the shoulders turn, the arm pulls through, and then as the hips stop turning, the shoulders slow down, the elbow speeds up, and then the hand speeds up and you release. It's a concatenation. It's a kinetic linking from the ground up. And the timing is very important.
Fundamentally, the method is about feeling. The best analogy that I have for this is, what would it be like to try to learn to ride a bicycle on YouTube? Imagine you want to learn to ride a bike. And so you load up a YouTube video and you see a guy riding a bike around. And he goes, riding a bike is so easy. Look, I can do it. And he shows you how to hold the handlebars just so, and how to put your butt on the seat just so, how to hold your arms at a 90-degree angle while you hold the handlebars, where to keep your head, and so on. And you try to copy that. So you get up on a bike, and what's the first thing that happens? You fall over on your side. Because riding a bike has nothing to do with replicating the body positions of someone who's riding a bike. It's a feel thing. It cannot be taught by mimicry. You have to get on a bike and feel it. And the very first time you ride a bike, maybe your dad is pushing you down a road and he lets go and you're wobbling, and all of a sudden, oh, I'm upright and I'm pedaling, and you feel it for the first time. You're riding a bike for the first time. That's a feel thing. Once you do that, you can probably ride a bike forever. The method is kind of like that.